I think there is a dire need to address a matter that's deeply troubling and demands our attention. It's a story that rips open the dark underbelly of Hollywood culture, power dynamics, and the atrocious silence that is often cloaking the exploitation of individuals, especially in film and television. This is a story where a company's ambitions seem to eclipse the safety and well-being of its employees, which isn't something that's unheard of these days. This narrative that I'm bringing to you today is not just about a single lawsuit or incident. It's kind of representative of systemic failures and kind of a plight that survivors have against these large entities, studios, corporations, you name it. And of course, what's even more reprehensible is it's more Dismal Disney. Here we go. Now, imagine a workplace where whispers of misconduct were being swept under the rug, where senior executives turned a blind eye to the haunting reality of SA, or forced intimacy, whatever you choose that's YouTube safe. You obviously would have a picture in your mind of Harvey Weinstein during his period of time that he was driving Hollywood. But no, this happened much more recently at one of Disney's studios. Yeah, I know, hard to believe. And as a result, a recent unwanted intimate action lawsuit filed against Disney paints a chilling picture. It paints a picture of a place that, implicates high-level management in a web of negligence and complicity, which is not a word you want to hear in regards to something like this. This lawsuit was actually filed on January 2nd in LA Superior Court by a Jane Doe, a dedicated employee with a career spanning nearly a decade at Fox and then later on at Disney. And the suit chronicles a harrowing saga that was ongoing. Nolan Gonzalez, a former VP at Disney, stands accused of SB, retaliation, and a string of other charges. But what's truly is the alleged chain of events that went unchecked for years. All of this happening within some corporate corridors where it absolutely shouldn't, or you wouldn't expect it would. Although, as we learn more and more about Disney, maybe it shouldn't be so unexpected. Now, the complaint details a disturbing timeline of aggressive behavior, beginning with some unwanted touching that escalated quickly to coercive tactics, including and involving some illicit pharmaceuticals and excessive alcohol consumption. And all of this was allegedly orchestrated to facilitate Gonzalez's despicable acts with minimal resistance. Shockingly, the suit contends that this is an open secret among employees and management, with warnings passed along to potential victims, or future victims, I guess, as early as 2016. That's reprehensible. What's most distressing is the claim that management, driven by profit, of course, and fear of financial repercussions, I would guess, chose to shield Gonzalez's misconduct rather than protect their employees. Now, reports of Gonzalez's behavior were allegedly disregarded, fostering an environment where people who were subjected to this behavior were discouraged from coming forward, as you would imagine. Of course, they were also fearing repercussions or dismissal, which is commonplace inside the entertainment industry even today, not in some distant past. Now, the lawsuit specifically highlights a grim reality that this VP's departure from Disney purportedly came as kind of a retirement, and it came without any consequences, while the survivor faced a traumatic leave of absence and subsequent demotion. That doesn't seem fair, right, just. And worse yet, her plea for accommodations due to medical conditions appeared to be met with indifference on top of it all, pushing her to break her silence and demand some form of accountability, albeit maybe not as soon as she should have, pursued it. Now, the legal recourse for survivors of such heinous acts is often a complex and time-sensitive process. In this particular case, though, the lawsuit falls under California's laws for SA and the Cover-Up Accountability Act, which provides a window for civil suits on claims that would typically be barred because of the statute of limitations, While the act actually expired on December 31st of 2023, there are some intricacies here that may allow for this case to proceed, notably due to obviously a holiday extension and some provisions allowing claims until December 31st of 2026 under some very specific circumstances. So there's a pretty good chance this will get heard. And it isn't just about this individual person's battle against these corporate giants, these massive studios. It's a reminder of some prevalent issues in workplaces, well, around the country and possibly around the world. Obviously takes some courage to overcome a lot of ingrained fears that prevented anybody from coming forward in the first place. And you have to get ginned up to face a legal labyrinth that is going to be more than a little bit uncomfortable. And of course, everybody gets a day in court here, whether it be the alleged victim or the alleged perpetrator. And that's part of a system that's supposed to work around the idea of everyone deserves justice. But in a sense, can it ever truly be served for either side? Because unfortunately, this process took so long to get started. Information, memory, a lot of other things change over time, and unfortunately may not lead to a honorable or just outcome. I would say that this case outlines something that's imperative, that we don't let stories like this fade into obscurity. Hopefully we help people arrive at some courage before a deadline approaches or passes. Because speaking up because of the fear of repercussions is one thing entirely, but coming to the realization too late is something else. I think what's even more important is that we demand accountability from institutions like this. We need to figure out a way to hold them accountable. And we'll get to that in just a second. But it doesn't seem like anything has changed in Hollywood culture or their ethics or accountability, and something certainly should. So I'll ask you today, should corporations be held accountable to the extreme in situations like this? Should directors and HR departments be criminally liable for letting things like this carry on and on? If it's an open secret, it should be, well, openly punished. But I guess the ultimate question here is one that I think we've all been asking for a while. And are we surprised that this ultimately lands on Disney's doorstep this time around? Anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. And as always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of each other. And until next time, see ya!